that, if everybody say it can't get done, I'm like, yes it can, why not? I said, if these kids can't read, then I'm not gonna promote them. And all this, mom, dad, I'm gonna look you in your face and say this kid can't read. We let them down. School, parents, we let them down, but I'm not gonna take them to the next grade knowing that they're not at grade level. It's funny because I'm always like, okay, how are schools successful? Well, schools are successful when they demand greatness. Greatness just doesn't come. We're about to make history. We're about to learn, we're about to grow, we're about to make history. And then, mark my words, it's gonna be other school districts, other places around it that's gonna be doing this thing. We're gonna be the first model. And I'm speaking that into existence, okay?
For booking, please visit SHURT School Turnaround Specialist.
If you can really take the map and drive the instructor inside the classroom and link it to the M step, then everything will move. You see it?
Ladies, third grade teachers, could you tell me, how do you think this professional development was for you today?
Easy. It was productive. It was exciting. We will never leave Mr. Hurt's advising.
Because the schools that I've worked with, the teachers I've worked with, their scores is go through the roof because what I do is I talk about practical stuff that's practical. Because I'm a former teacher and also I'm a principal, so I'm gonna be telling you guys things that I know will work in your classroom.
For booking, please visit SHURTSchoolTurnaroundSpecialist.com.
Good afternoon, Ms. Williams. Could you tell us, how did you like this classroom management training that was provided on today?
I loved it. I think it was really helpful for me because I'm not the most assertive person, and so it's hard for me sometimes to keep my class managed. So this helps me to help my students learn.
Do you think that this training can benefit other schools and teachers all around the world?
Absolutely. I know that a lot of us struggle with classroom management, and so anything that we can get to help us so that we can make sure that our students are successful.
Well, thank you, Ms. Williams. Thank you. You were just a delight today in my training, and I know that you will have tremendous success for the rest of the school year.
Thank you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Sean Hurt, your school turnaround specialist, with another dynamic episode. Make sure you come on in, tell me where you're coming from. I am just so happy. I want to wish everybody happy holidays to everybody. I'm in Michigan. I'm looking out my window and it's snowing outside. I think my wife told me this morning it's going to be like 30 to 20 degrees, but that's fine. We're going to still go ahead and do what we do. So come on in, hit that share button. Give me 2 minutes as I get all of my Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube people in. And I need you to come on in and hit that share button and let me know where you're coming from. Let me know where you're coming from. Yes, happy Saturday to everyone. So give me a few minutes. I'm just excited. This is going to be another dynamic episode. I have so much to share. Man, I got to give so many shout outs to so many people out there. I cannot wait. So just give me a few minutes as I get all my folks in. I want to make sure we have everybody situated and settled. I know some of us is working out. I know some of us might be driving to our kids' volleyball game or basketball game here in Michigan. I think is the last round of the football high school football season. So you might be going to the football game if you're tuning in from Michigan. Some of you guys might be watching the football. Get ready for all of the games that's coming on. But listen, we call ourselves the Fantastic Four, and then also we call ourselves Super Saturday. Is myself at 10. We got Create, my sisters in education. My sisters, Create and Educate at 10:30. Dr. Houston and Dr. Tammy Teller, and then we got the GOAT, the mentor, the person that we have that has supported us since day one, Principal Kafele at 11. And then on Saturday, and then on Sunday at 7, we have Dr. Josh Tarver. So we've been doing this, they know how many episodes and things of that nature. I'm gonna say over 3 years. I don't keep up with all that. So I'm gonna say over 3 years. And we have been blessing people all over the world. So we've been blessing people all over the world with the content that we're given and things of that nature. So I'm going to stop right there because I got a lot to share and I need all of my time. So I want to say good morning to AP Patrick Lawrence. Good morning to you from, that's Connecticut. I believe that's Connecticut. Good morning to you, Miss September Vance Daniels. Good morning to you from New Jersey. I was just in New Jersey doing a virtual professional development. I'm going to talk about that. So good morning to you. Good morning to you, Miss Truesdale from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm going to be in Georgia in a couple more weeks. Good morning to you. Good morning to Miss Jasmine Harris from California. Thank you for waking up so early from Cali. Good morning to you. I got to get out there. I have to get out there. Good morning to you, Dr. Jeter. It's always a pleasure seeing you. Thank you, Dr. Jeter, for all of the support. I see you done tag like a whole bunch of folks. Thank you very much for that. Good morning. Good morning to you, Miss Wilson. Good morning to you from NC, North Carolina. Good morning. Hello from Cole Garford WT from Atlanta. Good morning to you. Listen, it's cold in Atlanta, but we getting snow. I got to shovel the snow after my podcast. Good morning to you, Keena Rowland. Let me know where you're coming from. Oh, Miss Flowers in the house. I'm going to talk about you, Miss Flowers. I got you on my list. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I got my sister, Canel Williams, in the house. Good morning to you. So let me just say thank you. Thank you very much for all of the support. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure I got everybody situated. Make sure I don't miss nobody. Good morning to you, Stacy Joy. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Jeanne Alexandra. Good morning to you from Maryland. Good morning. So I'm going to stop right there. So once again, good morning, everybody. This is Sean Hurt, your school turnaround specialist. And today we're going to talk about the 8 steps how to engage and support urban and rural students. So if you are an educator and you work in a rural and urban area, you need to tune in. I'm going to give you the steps. Also, if you're not an educator, if you got friends or whatever, hit that share button. You know what I'm saying? Just get everybody going. Good morning to you, Mr. Vincent Teller. I know you're not cold, Mr. Teller. You down in Florida. I know it's about 60, 70 degrees. My good friend Vincent Teller doing some magnificent things. I seen a couple of his workshops, and he is dynamic. Brother Vincent Teller, good morning to you. So, you know what I like to do first? I like to always start off with this. What is keeping you up at night as an educator? So what I would like for us to do is that I want us to put it in the chat. What is keeping you up at night as an educator? I'm going to tell you what's keeping me up at night as an educator. Good morning to you, Principal Kafele. I'm going to be talking about you, Principal Kafele, for about 2 minutes during my other part. So make sure you tuning in. I'm going to talk about you, Principal Kafele. But what is keeping you up at night as an educator? I'm going to start it off. What's keeping me up at night as an educator is that we have, and I say we, schools all over the world, we have 4 months before the big test. You say, Herb, what is the big test? The big test is at the end of the year. Every school that's on my podcast, every school all around the world will have to take their state test. So what's keeping me up at night? This is Sean Hurt. What is keeping me up at night is this. Are we preparing for that big day? Are we really preparing for that big day, or are we going to wait to a month or 2 months to get started? Now I've been talking about this since August. I've done trainings after trainings after trainings. We have 4 months. It is not too late, but you got to get some things together as a school leader. You have to get some things together. So that's what's keeping me up at night. So put it in the chat. What is keeping you up at night as a school leader? What is keeping you up at night as a school leader? Next thing is that I'm gonna talk about what's happening in my world in education. So many beautiful things is happening. First of all, I would like to give a big shout out to Principal Hamilton at University High. Last week, we did a virtual parent workshop with her parents, high school parents. Well, high school parents aren't involved. Yes, they are. I did a virtual parent workshop, and it was great. I did it for an hour, and we could have stayed on there for like 2 or 3 hours. Man, it was excellent. What happened is our principal, Hamilton, bought books for all of her parents. She ordered books, and we did a workshop, and it was great. We talked about things that how to take your high school kid, that 15, 16, and how to make sure that you're working with them at home, talking to the school leaders. It was a couple of teachers on there and parents, bringing that world together. We talked about the parent being the first thing that we said the parent being their child's first teacher. The parent, you, I have 2 kids. I have many people on here that have kids. You are your child's first teacher. And as simple as that sounds, many parents was like, wow, that makes sense. So before we send our kids off to the high school or elementary, we have to be their first teacher. So that's something that we talked about. The second thing, and I'm not going to talk about everything, but the second thing that we discussed was this, is that your kids are not listening to what you're saying. They're watching what you're doing. Actions speaks louder than words. So now as parents, we have to be careful how we behave ourselves, the things we talk about at home, how we conduct ourselves, because our kids will model the things that we do at home. And then they will take it out to the school, to their neighborhood, things of that nature. You are the first teacher, and they are watching what you're doing. Not what you're saying, but what you're doing. So those are 2 of the plethora of things that we talked about. So I would like to say thank you very much, Principal Hamilton. We're going to do a part 2 in a couple of more months. University High School, thank you very much. The other thing is that I will be coming down to Principal Flowers. She's on here. I'll be working with her school on December the 17th. I cannot wait. I'm preparing. I've been preparing for you. We're going to go to the next level, Principal Flowers. I guarantee that. I'm excited. I can't wait to get down there. Man, I've been looking at data. We're going to a whole nother level. I guarantee you, Principal Flowers, that by the end of the year, your scores will go to a whole nother level. Guarantee it. So thank you very much. The other thing is that make sure you pick up Principal Kafele's new book, Principal Kafele. If you can kind of put the link in the chat, make sure you're picking it up. Make sure you pick up his new book. And also, Principal Kafele, I just want to tell you, you was down in Novi, Michigan last week with the CS Partners workshop, and you did the keynote. Listen, before you went down there, everybody, because I have a couple of schools that was there. So during the board meetings, they were talking about you. They were saying, we can't wait to Principal Fele. They did not know that me and you were close. They did not know that. So I'm listening, I'm hearing and stuff like that. So I told one lady, I said, yeah, you know, I heard he's going to bring it now. You better be careful. He's going to bring it. So after you brought it, the people was emailing me the next day. Man, Mr. Hurt, this Principal Fele guy, he's awesome. You need to know about him. Man, he tore it up. He killed it. So it's funny, you know, I say, yeah, I know. I told y'all he was going to do it. So I just want to say a big shout out to Principal Fele and the work he's doing. Make sure you pick up his book. I'm going to pick up 4 books. I'm ordering 4 books. I'm going to keep one for myself, and I'm going to pass it along and things of that nature. In addition to that, also, I would like for you to pick up Dr. Roz Gaskins. That's my good friend. Hopefully she's on here. Put your link in here. Pick up Roz Gaskins' books. She just did a new children's books. It is awesome. I'm picking up 4 copies, and then once I pass them out, I'm going to pick up 4 more copies. So what I do is that when I order books, I'm ordering them, I'm keeping one for myself, and I'm picking them up and giving them to people. People at schools, people at my church, I'm passing out. So it's funny because Principal Fele, I didn't tell you this. I'm back to Principal Fele. My pastor, he watches my my podcast. So it was like last year, he mentioned your name during the church service. So we all just, you know, you're reaching churches, you're reaching board rooms. You're reaching everywhere, man. You everywhere. So shout out to Principal Faye. The last thing, hey, Mrs. Nesbitt, he killed it. I was not there, but everybody, Miss Nesbitt, said Principal Kafele brought it. Now, I know him because I done heard him. I know what he brings to the table. It's not new to me. It's not new to a lot of people. But when he comes in and people don't know about him, and he's the first time he's coming in, man, just like I said, at my board meetings, come on now, use that. But at the board meetings, they talking about you, Principal Kafele. And then afterwards, man, they shooting me emails talking about, man, Mr. Hurt, you gotta follow this Principal Kafele. I said, okay, y'all just new to it. I've been rocking with him for 12 years. Y'all new to it, but that's cool. So you know, he's just killing the game. The last thing is that I got Mrs. Hunter, but she's on here by T. Lawson. I would like to congratulate Mrs. T. Lawson, aka Principal Hunter. Her school is Irwin Craighead Elementary School in Mobile, Alabama. She called me last week, and guess what, Miss Flowers? Guess what, everybody? Guess what? Her report card grade came out in Mobile, in Alabama. She has a B on her report card grade. Her score was at 80%. So congratulations, Ms. Lawson. Ms. Lawson, I saw you on here. Put it in the chat. Let's give her some love because the work that she's doing. She called me on Friday at about 8 o'clock. I was so excited. I was picking up my son from basketball practice. I saw a Alabama number. I picked it up. I said, gotta be her. She told me about it. So just big shout out to her. I put it on my social media page this morning. The other reason why I am so excited about what she did was this. Irwin Craighead Elementary School, Mobile, Alabama, was the first school that hired me to do consulting for their school for 2 straight years. That was the first school, the first ever school. I'm fresh in my consulting game. She reached out to me. She took a chance on little old me. She didn't know me from nobody. Remember, I'm in Michigan. She's in Alabama. She saw my post. We talked, whatever, came down there. And I remember like it was yesterday, Principal Hunter, I was in your office. My first time consulting. So I'm talking big. I'm like, hey, we gonna move to school. And it was times we were on Saturdays and Sundays. I would be down there with her staff doing what I do, NWA, data, classroom management, you name it. I was determined. And look what has happened. Boom. Imagine that. I remember that. So I just want to say a big shout out to you and your staff, Principal Hunter. Congratulations to you. It's funny because like I was thinking about it this morning. I said, you know, if you're a person that got multiple kids and things of that nature, you love them all. You love all your kids. That first child that you have, that first one, hits a little different because that's the new one. So all of the schools that I worked with in the past, they've made tremendous gains. All of the schools. This was my first school that took a chance on me. And there you go. Good morning to you, Brother Dean Johnson. He's one of my board members doing some big things. Doing some big things. Good morning to you, Mr. Johnson. So, all right. So that's it. That's enough about all that. Now I'm about to get into it. Is the 8 steps. How do you engage urban and rural students? So let me just be very specific. How do you as a principal, as a teacher, keep kids, my black kids, my Latino kids engaged in the classroom? Because we know that if you have the tools to keep them engaged, then the report card grades that these schools are having will increase. Now, we're not in it for the report card grades. Along with that, it tells me the work that I'm doing as a principal is working. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. All right. Get your pencil and paper out. Hit that share button. Let me hit that share button. Give me some love. The first thing that we have to do is this. I'm giving you the 8 steps. Number 1, it's not in any order. Misconceptions by some teachers thinking students from inner city are less capable than other students. Write it down. There is a misconception all over the world. Many schools, they believe that students from the inner city and rural cities are less capable than other students. So consequently, we lowered the standard as a school and as a classroom teacher. That's the first thing. So we got to clear out myths before we do anything. So you have to first raise the standard. I go back to when I was a principal and a teacher. I did not care that my school was 100% Title I. I did not care that all of my kids was black kids coming from inner city. That did not mean anything to me. I understood that, but I did not lower the standards. My school looked, smelled, my teacher dressed, my classrooms exhibited. If you were a parent paying $60,000 a year to go to a private school, I'm going to say that again. My school, the hallway, the classrooms, the way that I dressed, the way that my teachers dressed, how we looked, the level of education represented if you were paying $60,000 or more to go to a private school, and my school was a public school. We raised the standards on how we were going to deliver education. And it was very hard because there was a lot of misconceptions, like I said, from everybody. But I raised the standards no matter how people felt, no matter how many times they said these kids couldn't do it, no matter how many stories that I got that these kids are coming from single parents and these kids, dads or mom might not be home. Oh, well, look at the houses, blah, blah, blah. I hear all that. But what I saw with those kids, I saw potential doctors. I saw potential lawyers. I saw potential principals. I saw potential Congress people. I saw that in my kids, and I wanted my teachers to see the same things. Okay? All right. So that was the first one. Write it down. Second one was this. Now we're talking about engaging urban and rural students. We're talking about our students, the students that on Monday is going to be coming to you. Next one, I set up the school in the classrooms to be culturally responsive. I set up the school, Principal Hurt, in the classroom, Mr. Hurt, second grade teacher, to be culturally responsive to the students. What they were not getting at home, in their neighborhoods, or whatever it may be, I brought it to the school. I set the classrooms in the school up to represent my students. 100% of my students were black boys and girls. So what they saw was people who looked like them that was successful. I set it up in the hallways, in the classrooms, when you entered the school. Next thing I did, remember, I'm going to give you the answers to the test. That's why I do what I do, because I go slow. I talk about what is going to move the academic needle at schools. That's why Ms. Lawson got to be on her report card grade. These are the conversations that we have. That's why the schools that I'm working with, that's why every other week I'm on podcast saying I'm getting phone calls. I'm not making this up. These principals and these teachers are doing it. Why reinvent the wheel when you have the game plan, the template right here? Number 3, I order books. That's why I say you got to get Ross Gaskin's books, Principal Fele's books, whatever books. I order books that reflected the students' background and culture. I was in a meeting last week. They say black boys are not engaged in reading. That's what I hear. That's why I've been hearing for the last 25, 30 years in education. Our black boys don't want to read. I said, yes, they do want to read, but we have to put text in front of them that looks like them. They're not going to pick up Huckleberry Finn. Oh, I'm talking good now. Man, Hurt, you went there. They're not going to pick up Huckleberry Finn. When I was in school, I did not love reading Huckleberry Finn. Huckleberry Finns did not resonate to what I was going through in Detroit, Michigan. It was no Huckleberry Finn coming on 21610 on Whitmore Street. Those books did not resonate to me. Now, when I started to read books with characters, black men, when I started to read Malcolm X, when I started to read Dr. King, when I started to see the characters look like my mother, look like my father, then I became engaged. The only thing that I want you to do is become engaged, and then I can teach the standards. Then I can ask you who is the main character of the story. Then we can go over context clues. We can talk about fluency. We can talk about give me three supporting details to this story. We can talk about the things that they're going to be that they're going to be asked on the state test. But if I don't have a book that's engaging, I don't care about these standards. So what I did, and this is what hit me very much, I went to the classrooms and I said, Lord, we don't have any books that look like our kids. And I started to order books of authors that I knew. Give me 30 sets for the third grade. Give me 50 sets for the eighth grade. Give me 20 sets for the first grade. So I took my Title I money principles. I'm explaining to you what you have to do. I took my Title I money and I started to order books for each grade. Once again, the narrative is that black boys do not want to read. That is not true, educators. Hit that share button because they need to hear this. That is not true. Black boys love to read. We have to put books in front of them that they can identify with. Melissa Chuno said, talk. Yeah. Yes. That's why Roz Gaskins got a book coming. She got a book. Go on her thing. I ordered 4. I'm going to shoot you straight. I ordered 4. I'm keeping 1. I'm sending one to my church because it's some kids that need to get it. And then I'm going to go ahead and shoot two of them. I'm going to give them to some principals. I'm going to talk to the principals and say, hey, order about 100 of these books for your teachers, for these students. That's what I'm going to do because I know, and it's not Roz Gaskins. If you know some probably people that got books and stuff like that, we need to get them into these kids' hands. Why did T. Lawson go from this report card grade to a B? Because these are the things that she did. Why do all the other schools, and you're scratching your head, but like, hey, I want these high academic standards. You're not following the blueprint. Order the books. Title I, Title II. All right. Is that sounding good? Hit that share button. Let me know if this comment, hit the share button. Give me some love. Give me some love. Next one. Look, I got all my notes right there. I told you I'm going next level. I am going next level. That's why I said don't play with me. People calling me talking about they're raising report card grades. Next thing. Let's go with this. Build sincere relationships with the students and attend their events outside of school. Well, Hurt, I got my own. No, I'm going to say this again. Build sincere relationships with the students. Build sincere relationships with the students. Not this old fake relationships, not this old whatever. And attend their events outside of school. As a principal, I went to as many of my kids' events outside of school that I could. I was there. If someone died in their family, I was at the funeral. If they had a baptism, I'm at the church. If the parents invited me to their birthday party or whatever it may be, I was there. I was there. And not only, I also encourage my teachers because those relationships last a lifetime. Man, you start to build those relationships and start to, be in the community. The parents will support you 100%. Why don't the parents support me? Because you're not visible. I can't touch you. I don't see you. You don't even give hugs to the moms that come up here or fist bumps or encouraging words. So now when Raheem acts up and you call the parent, you mad that they cussing you out. And no, they should not cuss you out. No, they should not. But if you've built relationships with the parents, then Raheem's mom and dad is not going to be mad. They're going to get mad at Raheem and say, that man or that young lady loves you. Do what is right. Do what is right. Do what is right. All right, I'm going to stop right there. I know what it is 10:30, and I'm not going to go over past my time. You know, I get excited. I only got 30 minutes, so I get excited. So we're going to do part 2 next week. So I need everybody to tune in for part 2. What I would like for you to do is make sure everybody go and support my good friends Create and Educate at 10:30. Go on their platform. If you would like to come into your school and provide professional development service, inbox me. That's what I do. So I just want to say thank you very much. Happy holidays to everybody. And if no one have told you this, if no one has ever told you that they love you, I'm going to tell you that I love you. Keep up the good work. If you need some encouragement, hey, inbox me. I'm there for you. Thank you, and I will talk to you later.